Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie? What's your favorite scary movie?
The slasher genre has been a shell of its former self, not only in popularity, but also respectability for the last probably, I don't know, 25 years maybe? Which is kind of funny because people in the 80s were pretty much saying the exact same thing. Maybe not popularity, but definitely respectability wise. And that's also funny because after the resurgence of the genre with Scream in the late 90s, by the mid 2000s, people were already tired. I do think we feel it a lot more now though, that the slasher icons that we used to love are kind of becoming irrelevant. And once they're gone, God knows what will happen to this genre. Like if this new Crystal Lake show and potential Nightmare remake flop and are trash, it might be over for our beloved killers. Until the next reboot, of course.
Money!
Now, to understand the decline of the slasher genre, we first must go over some quick little history about it. Don't worry, I won't bore ya. This should be quick. So, to start this off, we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We all know about how this is the first real slasher, even though technically it was Black Christmas.
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
And even before that, we had Bay of Blood and Psycho heavily laying out the groundwork for these type of movies to even be made. And of course, before that, we had the Italian Giallo movies, Jello, I don't know, which introduced crazy killers with masks. Obviously, that would become a staple of this genre.
Yes.
Also, let's not forget the thriller that was Peeping Tom, which popularized things like POV shots from the killer's perspective, which, you know, was used a lot in earlier horror movies like Friday the 13th. Holy shit, that is a lot of history. And that's all before the real first slasher that people count. But anyways, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm going to be starting off with this when talking about the history of slashers because, one, it pretty much has every trope that would come to be. You know, a group of dumb teens getting hunted by a big burly man with a mask and a cool weapon. And two, speaking of the guy with the mask, it introduced the slasher's first real icon, being Leatherface. Take a note of that. These icons are massively important and essential to this genre's success. Also, one more thing, it also did give us Sally Hardesty, and she's widely considered the first real final girl in the slasher genre, you know, by general audiences. This is definitely like the most popular character trope, and it is very important to this genre and its success.
Yes.
This trope has given us some great characters over the years, and pretty much every great slasher has a great final girl. Besides these two, but they don't count. Now let's move 4 years later in 1978, and we got the release of Halloween. Instead of a random farm in Texas, the killer was brought to our neighborhoods. Unlike the scary rural areas or the woods, an average middle-class town in America is supposed to be peaceful, quiet, safe.
Come on now.
But Michael Myers broke that. Hey, Michael Myers, let's talk about him. This dude, in my opinion at least, is probably the best and most perfect depiction and icon for the slasher. I think he perfectly represents what this genre is and what it's supposed to be. Just a giant, ruthless, silent killer, only killing for the love of the game. You gotta love it. Halloween was the first major commercial hit in the genre, and it proved to studios that these type of movies can make some major cash. As y'all can imagine, this led to a boom of slashers being released in the 80s, oversaturating the genre pretty quickly, all for one purpose and one purpose only:
money.
In just 3 short years, we had 3 Friday the 13th movies. We already know how important that franchise is. It spawned Jason, who's arguably the most recognizable killer, and enforced even more tropes, like a group of dumb teens going out camping and getting killed. There were also movies like The Burning, Slumber Party Massacre, and the very great and underrated movie Sleepaway Camp. If you've never seen that, you gotta check it out. I'm definitely about to make a video on it soon. It has a very unique vibe.
Goodness, no. Now that wouldn't do at all. Richard, Angela!
With all these movies talking about a silent human or humanoid killer going around and killing people, it was pretty hard to stand out from the rest. This was until 1984 when the game changed with Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street. For really the first time ever, the slasher genre was going into a supernatural route. No more killer in your backyard stalking you. Gone were the days of a massive autistic man-child trying to protect his land. Now, we got pedophile demons. Of course, I'm talking about Freddy Krueger, another one of horror's biggest icons. Unlike Michael or Jason, who were strictly about business and kept silent most of the time besides like grunts, Freddy loved to yap.
Watch this.
He'd make jokes while killing his victims, all that. He's kinda like the horror version of Spider-Man if you think about it. Nightmare was another huge financial success, and people loved the new supernatural aspect of it. So, as you can already guess, companies ran that to the ground. Seemingly overnight, all of our favorite killers that once were not supernatural, like Jason or Michael Myers, turned into zombies and cult shadow puppets things. I don't really know what that's all about. So, just like before, people were getting kind of tired because just plain oversaturation. Years would pass, more movies would be made with basically the same formula, and people were getting sick of it, quite frankly. The big names were still pretty popular and doing their thing, but with the actual movies getting worse over time, general audiences began to fade. In 1988, we had the final major hit in the first slasher boom era, which was Child's Play. It gave us another icon with Chucky. I used to be so scared of that little guy. He used to freak me the f out. Only 12 years after Halloween, it looked like this once booming genre was coming to an end. Let's recap on that first slasher boom of the late 70s / 80s. We had 5 major franchises that made this genre what it is today. Wow. Obviously other cult classics were made, but these were the big ones. With these 5 franchises spawned 5 icons that are essential to not only slashers, but the horror genre in general. Also, let's not forget about the great final girls or characters that we got. And it mainly died because, one, it is admittedly hard to make a slasher movie unique. Yeah. So people were kind of just getting tired of the same formulas and plot points being used. 2, it became way oversaturated. And 3, it just became a joke of itself over time.
You a dead meat slime bag. Yo, man, it's cool. It's cool, man.
Look at this dude.
The genre was looking pretty dead throughout the 90s. I mean, the f***ing Leprechaun movie was released during this time. That's all I gotta say about that. This was until 1996 though, when we got blessed with the holy grail that is Scream. Directed by the same person who directed some of the Nightmare movies, Wes Craven, Scream was a breath of fresh air that the genre needed for its revival. It was like a meta homage to the slasher movies,
Behind you. Behind you, Gene.
It basically presented everything we've come to know about these films, but gave it to us in a new, fresh, and fun way. Expectations were heavily subverted, and it was making a lot of allusions to older horror movies.
What's that werewolf movie with E.T.'s mom in it?
The Howling, horror straight ahead.
While that's pretty commonplace now, Scream was pretty much the first slasher to do that, and now that's a pretty big thing. I think this was like the equilibrium of funny and scary in a slasher. It wasn't a joke of itself, unlike other slashers would come to be. You know, like the later entries in Friday or Nightmare on Elm Street.
No!
Obviously, that statement's not true no more. Scream is definitely a joke of itself now.
High school theater. It's showtime, bitch.
After Scream's success, we had another wave of slashers. Basically, all the major franchises of this era and all the new movies that would come out became extremely meta and comedic. But it was definitely not as greatly executed as Scream. Like, it was a lot more gimmicky and it was not good. The genre became a joke of itself, again, and audiences began to grow sick of them, again. After this brief era, we just had a bunch of reboots coming out, and that's pretty much where we're at now. Reboots and remakes. There were some good ones, and a lot of bad ones, but in general, this era has not been good.
Nope.
And like I said at the start of this video, it's been like this for like 25 years. Now this brings us to the modern day. Finally. Like I said, the genre has pretty much remained in the same place. No new innovations.
Nope.
No new real slasher icons after Ghostface besides Terrifier. Or I'm sorry, Art the Clown. The only problem now is they've been milking these guys for like decades. They're starting to die out and they've already lost their mystique by now. We've really seen everything that can be seen with these simple formulas. At the core of it, the slasher is just a humanoid guy killing a bunch of teens or people. Obviously, you can throw in being meta and a little supernatural stuff, but there's not too much stuff. People grow tired of predictable plots. That's why genres like the Western died out. They just get less exciting over time once you get more exposure to it and kind of see most of the movies are doing the same thing, especially within the franchise. But there is always room for innovation for anything, you know?
Yeah.
People thought the slashers were dying, and then Nightmare on Elm Street brought it back with a supernatural aspect. Same thing happened a couple years later. Scream brought it back with it being meta. I think if slashers want to come back to glory, then they need to adapt and evolve. Maybe combining itself with other horror genres. That would be pretty cool. Maybe some liminal space slasher horror.
I like it in here.
I don't know, but they need to shake it up. The slashers we get now are so bland and devoid of literally anything. Like, they're so boring. And like I said, we've seen these icons for decades. We need new killers, eventually. The modern day Gen Z kid and Gen Alpha kid has grown up with Art and Megan. Megan. Like I said, these icons are essential to the genre. Hell, they are the genre. In the 80s, they were spamming us with legends.
The 80s were bad to the bone. Bad.
If we even had 2 to 3 more now, I think the genre would be in a much better spot. So, with all this being said, I think the decline of slashers can be attributed to 3 main factors. 1, we are done with the 80s.
We done with the 90s.
A simple story about a killer killing for killing's sake ain't gonna do it no more. The modern day viewer has seen that how many times? And it seems like the modern slashers we get, that's pretty much all it is. Like, they're not innovating on the genre. It is all about psychological horror now. Why doesn't the slasher genre capitalize on that? With films like Hereditary or Five Nights at Freddy's 2, who wants to watch I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025? Not me. The second reason is one I touched on before, but I really want to hammer it. They just became unserious and a joke of themselves. That's what mainly killed off the first two waves. It's a fine line to teeter-totter, and most of the movies just teeter in the joke and comedy side. And while that can make money short-term, for like long-term respectability, it hurts the slasher genre. And the third reason is another reason I touched on before, is the icons. While I love Jason and Michael Myers, they can't be the forefront anymore. And if they are, then y'all gotta make better movies. We need new guys to take the throne and help innovate the genre even further. If we don't get a new generation of icons soon, besides Art and Megan, this genre might be officially slashed from the public's eye.
I think we're dead meat.
So yeah, that's why I think the genre is pretty much dying out. It's unfortunate, but you know, general audiences are bored, and the only slashers we got nowadays are Megan. I'm not gonna say it's over because, you know, everything comes in waves. Eventually, you know, slashers will probably be popping again. This might have came off like a random string of thoughts, and yeah, that's pretty much what it was. I thought it'd be a fun idea. Next video is gonna be about Gravity Falls. Stay tuned for that. Again, I want to thank y'all for the recent support as of late. I'm at 5K subs. My goal before starting college was 2K, and you know, we killed that. So yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed. Please subscribe. I really don't want a job. And Poppy Bluebird out the booth. Peace.